part 3. Welcome to this Talk Tuesday about money. It's probably going to be 4 parts today. Anyway, so now we're going to talk about the bad and the ugly, even though I already started that in part 2. So the bad and the ugly is, like I said, the pride and the greed and the envy and the gluttony. Then there's the want and the jealousy and the cheating and stealing and the sales. Sales, not everything needs to be for sale, does it? I mean, I don't know. So currently our system is set up to help our children fail. We send them for too long to school where they don't learn how to take care of themselves or the world around them. And then they maybe finish high school, or maybe not. And then they maybe go off to college or university. But then the price tag is so high and the quality of education is so poor that the students end up not learning all the things that they need to survive. So, let me just continue. So then they get out of school of any level and they're supposed to get a job. And, they have all this debt. And so they don't get, of course, the highest paying job because they don't have any experience. So then they get a low paying job and they can't pay down their debt and they can't start a family and they can't do anything. Their hands are tied because we have this ridiculous system in place right now. Now, I don't mean to sound pessimistic and tear down our system as it is, but on the other hand, it evolved this way, and we let it evolve this way. But we don't have to leave it this way. We have the power to change it. So, my recommendation is to make colleges and universities free, especially public ones. If a private school wants to charge money, that's fine, they can. But since, in my opinion, we're moving towards a moneyless society, that's only going to last another 4 years anyways. So I think we should just go ahead and offer free education. With that said, I think that having children go through the book learning school system throughout their entire life is also not helpful. The Montessori concept of self-guided education is one that works well. And I think another thing that works well is apprenticeship programs. So over the last, I'm going to say 20 years, we have learned a lot about human knowledge or even animal knowledge too. And the fact that there are different intelligences out there. So sometimes people have intelligences for seeing things or hearing things or noticing things or logic or just various intelligences for touching things. And these are intelligences that are important and needed in society in different places. But because we're set in this book learning structure, these intelligences get ignored. and then the people get lost. So through an apprenticeship program, I think we can develop everybody's skills a bit better and move them through the system in a way that enhances their skill set and their talents, because everybody has talents and skills, and there's a place for everybody in the workforce. So for me, I really want to focus on utilizing the apprenticeship program that we already have set up in the United States, but do it even more so. And get people moving through the system in a different way, so that by the time they're 18, they're not, heading off to college to go into debt, and put their parents in debt and everything. But they actually might even have money in the bank that they earn themselves. Or if we move towards a moneyless society, then they just contribute to the surroundings, to the community, and they're welcome into the community as a child growing up, and get extra care in that way. So yeah, I think that's one way to help get out of the bad and the ugly part of our money society. Then, so that means not sending everybody to universities. And then also at university level, making that education free as well. And moving towards that moneyless society. I think it would help everybody immensely to spend the last 3 years of high school, rather than focus on book learning, to really focus on learning how to be in society. So by doing an apprenticeship program. So it might be that we say from now on that you have to go through the apprenticeship program. That way you can also test out different areas of your skill set to see where you really want to be. You might think you want to be a doctor, but then you find out, no, I really enjoy being a physical therapist. Or you might think you want to be a doctor, but then you realize that you like nursing instead. And so, why should you spend 10 years of your life going to school to start work, and then suddenly you realize that's not what you want to do in the first place? So we need to get people out and testing where they want to be, and let their system tell us where to go. It's up to the child and the parent and the teachers to understand and guide the children. So I really think that would be a good way to move forward, with or without money. That would also take a big burden off of a lot of people. And once you're after 18, you can start working in your field already and continue working whatever you were doing before. And then, you find yourself moving into your 20s, knowing a bit more about yourself, having a bit more self-respect, and you will have learned how to be with all sorts of people, young and old. So you'll have a different skill set by the time you graduate high school or apprenticeship program. So yeah, it's a way towards tapping into our human potential in the best way possible. So now that we talked about sort of the ugly part and where the trickiness happens, I think mental illness is really important, and it's really overlooked. We are absolutely not focusing on that at all, but I think over the last, I'm going to say 3 or 4 years, there's been a bigger focus on that, which is great. We are moving forward and looking into how to keep people happy and healthy mentally. But we're still not 100% there yet, but we need to move forward on that too. So That way people can stay in their jobs and continue to move forward. Life is lifelong learning. So education will always be, people can always move from one area to the next, and skills are transferable, period. So, like I said, these sort of things work in a money society, but I think they work even better in a non-monetary society, and we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to stop here. This is the end of part 3, and then we'll move to part 4, which will probably be quite long. Okay, thanks for stopping by.